You know, we live in a world that is absolutely obsessed with efficiency. I mean, doing things faster, better, cheaper, it's everywhere. But have you ever stopped to think about where that all started? Well, it turns out it really all kicks off with one man and his stopwatch. Think about it for a second. How could a fast food joint serve you the exact same burger with the exact same taste, whether you're in New York or London, and get it to you in just a couple of minutes? It's not magic, not at all. It's a system. It's a blueprint for speed and consistency that was actually written over 100 years ago. So let's rewind the clock. Before the 20th century, the factory floor was, it was kind of a mess. Totally chaotic. There were no standard ways of doing things. A new guy learning to shovel coal would just, watch the guy next to him. Maybe one used the big shovel, the other a small one. Who knew what was best? It was all just tradition and pure guesswork, what they called the rule of thumb. And the result? Things were slow, inconsistent, and super inefficient.
Okay, so into this chaos steps our main character, Frederick Winslow Taylor. Now, Taylor is an engineer, and he looked at this messy industrial world and thought, no, this isn't an art form. This should be a science. He had this radical belief that any job, it doesn't matter how simple, could be studied, analyzed, and optimized for absolute peak performance. And this big idea got a name: scientific management. The core concept is actually pretty simple, but boy, was it revolutionary. The idea was to stop relying on tradition, that old rule of thumb, and start using data. You observe people working, you measure everything, you time every single little motion, and you analyze it all to find the one single best way to do any given job.
And listen, Taylor himself didn't mince words about it. This quote gets right to the heart of it all. For him, management wasn't about, leadership or inspiring people. Nope, it was about knowing exactly what you want them to do and then building a system to make sure they do it in the, quote, best and cheapest way. It's a mindset of total control. So how did he actually plan to pull this off? Well, Taylor wasn't just a big ideas guy. He had a detailed recipe. He broke his whole theory down into 4 core principles, basically a step-by-step guide for engineering the perfect workflow.
Okay, so first, and this is the big one, replace all that guesswork with actual science. Study every task to find that one best way. Second, management and workers needed to be in harmony, not fighting each other. Taylor truly believed this scientific approach would make everyone better off. Third, cooperation was key. Everybody had to follow the scientifically designed plan. No exceptions, no going rogue. And finally, you don't just hire someone and throw them to the wolves. You scientifically select and train them to be as efficient as humanly possible in their specific job. Now, a theory is just words on a page until someone actually puts it into practice. And the person who took Taylor's ideas and used them to literally change the world was an automaker named Henry Ford.
Yep, Henry Ford. He looked at what Taylor was preaching and had this light bulb moment. He saw the absolutely revolutionary potential for building his cars. So he didn't just tweak a few things, he decided to redesign his entire production process from the ground up based on these new ideas.
And this, right here, was Taylor's theory in glorious high-speed motion. Ford took the super complex job of building a car and broke it down into hundreds of tiny, simple steps. Then, each worker was trained to do just one of those steps over and over and over again. And here was the genius move. He created a moving conveyor belt that brought the car to the worker. The worker stood still, the work came to them.
And the result? It was absolutely staggering. Get this, before the assembly line, building a single Model T car took over 12 hours. After Ford put these ideas into action, it took just 93 minutes. Let that sink in for a second. That's not just an improvement, that is a full-blown revolution. It's what made cars affordable for everybody and completely changed manufacturing forever. But, and you knew there was a but coming, right? This incredible productivity came at a price. The legacy of Taylorism is, it's complicated. For all the amazing things it gave us, this modern world of mass production, there was a pretty significant human cost to treating people like they were just cogs in a giant machine.
Think of it like 2 sides of the same coin. On one side, you get these massive wins, huge jumps in efficiency, way less waste, and products that are the same quality every single time. That's why we have affordable stuff. But then you flip that coin over. The system pretty much ignored the fact that workers are human. It created these mind-numbingly boring, repetitive jobs that just stripped away all creativity and valued pure efficiency over everything else.
And don't for a second think this is just some old history lesson. The DNA of scientific management is absolutely everywhere today.
It's in the Amazon warehouse that gets your package to your door in a day. It's in the lean management principles that drive modern factories. It's the basic logic behind automation and robotics. Seriously, every time an app optimizes a delivery route, that's Taylor's ghost in the machine. Which really brings us to the huge question we are still wrestling with today. Look, we all want the benefits of efficiency, right? We want the lower prices, the faster service. Of course we do. But at what point does optimizing the system start to come at too high a human cost? When does the quest for maximum efficiency go too far? That's the central puzzle Taylor gave us over a century ago, and honestly, we're all still trying to figure out the answer.